So I just noticed this pin is seized up, and this is the bit I'm going to take out because I didn't want the latch here to latch, and then I wouldn't be able to get underneath and open the cable very easy. So there's another job for us to do. Now fortunately, through experience and things like this, the nut here is the same size as your fan clutch. What is it, 32mm? Let's get a spanner out and see if we can get that off. The spanner I use for getting the viscous couplings off is this one. It's actually it's a snap-on one, but you can see over the years it's got a bit knackered up and sort of worse than useless. So we have Prince's Auto in Canada that sells spanners which are pretty cheap. But the thing is, you can grind them down to such a way that they're actually better than these. They actually get in and they're nice and tight because they're thicker, look. You see there? They're thicker. Things you find out, eh? So let's see if we can get this off. I bet it's going to be a bugger. That bit comes out. So the lock nut comes off, but it needs unscrewing now, so we'll have to find a method, a screwdriver to get into there. So I'm going to use the only snap-on tool I've got. This is my snap-on screwdriver I found in a scrapyard in Gisborough years and years ago. Put it in the slot and unscrew. Now you might find that this gets tight as this one's doing. The reason for that is it's a captive nut at the top, and if this is the top of the bonnet, water gets in at the top, sits in and makes the threads rusty. So what I'm going to have to do, what am I going to have to do? I'm going to use some deep creep, but put a little plastic nozzle on there so I can get in through one of these holes here and spray it. Let me find a nozzle. I bet I've got, where the hell have I put those? Can't find anything today. Nozzle. You can get it inside there, look. God, it is coming up. Get it from both sides. And round the nut, and round the thread. And then we're going to work this backwards and forwards. Look, I've got my screwdriver. See, that's why I don't like snap-on stuff. You put it down and you've lost it. Oh, there it is. Right. Thing is, you can't heat it. You can't heat it up because you're going to melt the paint. You could damage the paint. You don't want to do that. So this is going to be a sort of a long-winded job. Just working this backwards and forwards. It's coming off. Getting there all the time, you know. Now, the thing is, you don't want to put Stiltson's vice grips or anything on this rounded part because it is kind of critical when it goes into the slam panel. You don't want any burrs on it, so it's going to jam up at the bottom. So I'm going to get that out, he says. Hey, not too bad. Good stuff. This stuff, deep creep, is very, very good. I like that stuff. Better than WD-40. Now, got it out. You can see the rust on the threads. And this is all compact, and this is what makes your bonnet pop open, if you see what I mean. And when you slam your bonnet, this bit rests in the slam panel, and then there's a fork inside here that grabs onto this bit so it doesn't come up. So there's a little bit of tension, and that's why you've got to adjust your bump stops correctly so they're like in equilibrium. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in the soft jaws of the vise, undo this nut and then try and free this piece off. Back in a minute. So, getting the nut off was quite easy because there was plenty of deep creep everywhere and all over my bloody hands as well. But this is a problem. This piece here is seized onto this shaft. We're going to try and get that off, so I'm going to soak it, and we're going to try, I think we might just warm it up and use a candle to get that off. Let me get set up. So here we are in the vise again. We're going to warm this up. Now this is just resting in here, and I've knocked this down. I've screwed it down so the thread is in on the inside, and I'll need a little tapometer. I'm just seeing one here. That'll do. Right, let's warm this up. Use a bit of candle wax. Right, let's give it a tip tap. Ta-da! Now, why did I use candle wax? Because it doesn't catch fire with the flame. Otherwise, if we used like WD-40, we'd have flames everywhere. So, I'm going to leave that to cool down, and I'll quickly put it through the sandblaster. I didn't run it through the sandblaster. I ran it through the soda blaster because that was in my cabinet at the time. And it's come out quite nice, and that's the bit that should slide up and down here like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, this time we're going to use some honey goo. This is another product I like to use as well because it sticks. We're going to squirt plenty in there, and then we're going to get the spring and assemble this. Now we can't assemble it properly like it would go on the car. Well, look at that. See, that's how it should be, and I'll tell you for the reason why in a minute. So this has to go in here and get wound in, and then we can set it on the car. Now this is what I really wanted to tell you. So now you can sort of see how it works. When it goes through the striker, this comes up, this drops down, and this is the bit that's latched in, not this bit. So this will just pop up your bonnet, if you see what I mean. So it would be like that, and that's down, and then when you let go of your cable, your bonnet will pop up. Now, most important, if any of you guys have been playing around with putting wheels on your bonnet and things like this, there's a different spring for a Land Rover with a wheel on the bonnet. It's a lot stronger. A lot of people have been caught out by this. They use the standard spring for a wheelless bonnet, like a standard one, and wonder why that the bonnet won't pop up, and they struggle because you're sort of inside pulling the cable, but you can't get underneath to lift it up. So it needs a different spring. Now, I don't know if you can see. I don't know if I've got a bit of paper towel. They are actually colour coded. See, this one's a yellow one. Now, I'm not really sure what the ones for the spare wheel ones are, but we'll find out. The thing is, we can't fit this and adjust it until we've got the cable done. So we're going to have to stop this video, and we'll come back another day when we've got the cable and get it all adjusted right. But this is going to be good now. There's no problem there. You see it screws on really nice. Trying to make this Land Rover better? Well, it's certainly fighting back, isn't it? Right, so I hope you like that. We'll see you in the next video.